I'd like to welcome you to this evening's meeting of the Board of Education. I call this meeting to order at 7:06 and invite you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Cinia, the consent agenda, please.
Let me do roll call.
Oh, let's do roll call first.
Okay. Mrs. Ansnick is absent. Mrs. Berry?
Here.
Mrs. Fawaz?
Here.
Mr. Garcia?
Here.
Mrs. Kaminsky? Here. Mrs. Krasanik?
Here.
And myself. You have a quorum.
All right. And Ms. Cinia, the consent agenda.
Board of Education approval is recommended for the items listed on the consent agenda, which include the August 12, 2019 board agenda, the minutes from the study session on Monday, July 22nd, 2019, the minutes from the organizational meeting on Monday, July 22nd, 2019, the minutes from the regular meeting on Monday, July 22nd, 2019, the minutes from the special meeting on Thursday, July 25th, 2019, the minutes from the special meeting on Thursday, August 8th, 2019, and the check register dated July 1st, 2019 through July 30th, 2019.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Lynn and supported by Ed that the Board of Education approve the items listed on the consent agenda, which include the August 12th, 2019 board agenda, the minutes from the study session on Monday, July 22nd, 2019, the minutes from the organizational meeting on Monday, July 22nd, 2019, the minutes from the regular meeting on Monday, July 22nd, 2019, the minutes from the special meeting on Thursday, July 25th at 2019, and the minutes from the special meeting on Thursday, August 8th, 2019, and finally, the check register list dated July 1st, 2019 through July 30th, 2019. Is there any discussion?
Madam President?
Yes.
Just moving forward and noting for the record that I know there was a check that was paid to the city of Dearborn Heights, so this is under the check registry for crossing guard. It's a contracted service. Moving forward, this is not a contracted service. This is a service that is provided by the city, and that school district should no longer be paying that service.
So noted.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can we request a refund on that? Since it was addressed by the
Mayor and his
previous
administration.
superintendent.
Yeah, and the superintendent.
And-
I would have no objection to seeing what the possibilities of that water could be.
I think that's going to be tough, only because we were told by our superintendent that we were going to use that as a bargaining chip, and the check's been cut. So I don't know. I'm willing to do whatever the board would like to do.
I think we should try to get a refund.
Okay, let's do it. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Personnel report, instructional appointment recommendation, Hannah Saad.
Good evening, Madam Chairman.
Good evening.
We have 9 action items. Instructional appointment recommendation, Hannah Saab.
Hannah.
Interviews for a secondary ESL teacher were conducted on Wednesday, July the 17th, 2019. Interview committee members included Joel Fabris, Crestwood High School principal, Tony DeMarco, Human Resources Payroll Specialist, and me. The committee unanimously recommends Hannah Saab for this position. Hannah earned her bachelor's degree in elementary education with her major area of study in mathematics in 2005, and went on to earn her master's degree with her major area of study in English as a second language in 2012, both from the University of Michigan Dearborn. Hannah began her teaching career with Hamadi Educational Services, where she taught Arabic to kindergarten to 5th grade and co-taught 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade students until 2011. She moved to California, where she was a substitute teacher at the children's school until she moved to Saudi Arabia in 2014. Hannah taught kindergarten through 4th grade at Al Hada International School in Saudi Arabia until she moved to Dearborn in 2018. Hannah is currently teaching English as a second language in the adult education program with Dearborn Public Schools. Hannah had a second interview on Thursday, July 18, 2019, and is being highly recommended for the secondary ESL teacher position.
Support.
Motion.
Motion. We need a motion.
Madam
I
President.
recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the probationary contract for Hannah Saab for the 2019-2020 school year per Schedule 4A1, pending a receipt of official transcripts, employer copy of current Michigan teaching certificate, acceptable background check, and other employment documentation as required by law, and is subject to her completing 24 hours of district-approved SIOP training within the first year of hire.
Support.
Okay. It's been moved by Nadia and supported by Sue that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the probationary contract for Hannah Saab for the 2019-2020 school year per Schedule 4A1, pending receipt of official transcripts, employer copy of current Michigan teaching certificate, acceptable criminal background check, and other employment documentations as required by law, and subject to her completing 24 hours of district-approved SIOP training within the first year of hire. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Custodian recommendation, Tina Goodwin. The interviews for 2 custodial positions were conducted on Monday, July 29, 2019, and Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. The interview committee consisted of Tony DeMarco, Human Resources Payroll Specialist, Sean Ambergy, Interim Supervisor, and me. We recommend Tina Goodwin for one of these positions. Tina has been a substitute custodian in the district since March 2019. She has worked on the Detroit Princess in the maintenance department for the past 5 years. Tina is knowledgeable in safety procedures for operating custodial equipment and OSHA rules. Tina has proven to be dependable and a hard worker. She takes pride in her work and goes above and beyond to make sure everything is clean. Tina had a second interview on Wednesday, July the 31st, 2019, and is being highly recommended for the custodial position.
Madam Chair?
Is that Sue?
Yes.
Yes, Sue.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Tina Goodwin as a custodial worker with Crestwood School District. See it, subject to 90-day evaluation and recommendations. See attachment 4A2.
Support?
Yes.
I just would like, are these people present? Can you introduce us?
This person is.
Ms. Saab? Oh, your team?
Oh, Hannah
Where's Hannah?
is not here.
Hannah's not here. Okay,
No.
thank you.
I'm sorry.
Hello.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Okay, it's been moved by Mrs. Kaminsky and supported by Mr. Garcia that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Tina Goodwin as a custodial worker with Crestwood School District. See attachment 4A1 and subject to a 90-day probationary period or 30?
90-day evaluation and recommendation.
There it is. Those all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm sorry, I didn't say if anybody had any discussion. Did anybody want to say anything?
I just wanted to meet him.
Okay.
So
Thank
yes,
you.
that was Tina.
Yes, that was Tina.
Thank you. Paraprofessional recommendation, Ferial Bazzi. On Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, interviews were conducted for a special education paraprofessional. The interview committee consisted of Mena Mawad, Director of Special Education, Dennis Folletti, Riverside Middle School Principal, and me. It is the recommendation of the committee to hire Ms. Ferial Bazzi for this position. Ferial earned her associate's degree in 2000 from St. Clair College in Canada. Her major area of study was in computer science, with her minor area of study in teaching. She has worked as a special education substitute paraprofessional with the Crestwood School District since September 2018. Ferial has a passion for working with children and helping them to succeed in life. Ferial is fluent in oral and written Arabic. Ferial had a second interview on Wednesday, July the 31st, 2019, and is being highly recommended for a special education paraprofessional position.
Madam Chair?
President?
Yes, Ed.
I would recommend the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Ferial Bazzi as a special education paraprofessional with the Crestwood School District for the 2019-2020 school year per attachment 4A3.
Support.
Let's see, it's been moved by Ed and supported by Nadia that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Ferial Bazzi as special education paraprofessional with Crestwood School District for the 2019-2020 school year as per attachment 4A3. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
And I did not see her.
Is she here now?
So-
Oh, there she
there
is.
yes.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Custodian recommendation, Sammy Jaffiel. On Monday, July 29, 2019, and Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, interviews for 2 custodial positions were conducted by, and I believe we left Brian off. So Brian April, Business Director, Tony DeMarco, Human Resources Payroll Specialist, Sean Ambergy, Interim Supervisor, and me. We recommend Sammy Jaffiel for one of these positions. Sammy worked for Sunoco Gas Station as a manager from 1999 to 2009, where he was responsible for overseeing employees, completing inventory, and ordering stock. He then went on to work as a glazier with Birmingham Glass and Mirror from 2010 to 2012, and he's currently with Danny's Used Auto Parts. He is responsible for opening and closing the shop, delegating duties to other employees, handling customer service issues, and completing parts orders. Sammy had a second interview on Thursday, August 1st, 2019, and is being highly recommended for the custodian position.
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Kaminsky.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Sammy Jaffa as a custodial worker with the Crestwood School District, subject to 90-day evaluation and recommendations. See attachment 4A4.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Kaminsky and supported by Mr. Garcia that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Sammy Jaffiel as a custodial worker with Crestwood School District. See attachment 4A4. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
How long has Mr. Jaffiel been subbing? I take it that everybody's been subbing, correct?
No.
No, you just hired, okay, so some people have
Sammy,
not.
I don't think Sammy's.
Yeah, he's a full-time employee
Is
at
he
his
here?
current employer.
Okay.
He's here.
And Miss Tina wasn't subbing at all?
No,
She was subbing.
She was subbing.
Yeah.
So yes, Sam is here.
Yes. Hi. Good. All right, is that it? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you. Unpaid leave of absence, Kelsey Kelly. Kelsey Kelly, a third grade teacher at Kinlock Elementary School, is requesting an unpaid leave of absence from Friday, December the 6th through Monday, December the 16th, 2019. Kelsey is requesting this time off due to her upcoming wedding and honeymoon.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Nadia.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the unpaid leave of absence request for Kelsey Kelly from Friday, December 6th through Monday, December 16th, 2019.
Support.
Supported by Lynn. Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Berry and supported by Ms. Zinnia that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the unpaid leave of absence request for Kelsey Kelly from Friday, December 6th through Monday, December 16, 2019. Is there any discussion? I would just like to say congratulations to her. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Yes, congratulations to Kelsey.
Yes.
Paraprofessional recommendation, Sarah Alshayer. Interviews for a special education paraprofessional were conducted on Monday, August the 5th, 2019. The interview committee consisted of Alice Rinke, Highview Elementary Principal, Kelly Anderson, Highview Elementary School Teacher, and me. The committee recommends Sarah Alshayer for this position. Sarah earned her bachelor's degree in literature from Salam Language School in Tanta, Egypt in 2004. She was a full-time kindergarten teacher while in Egypt. In March of 2019, Sarah became a substitute paraprofessional with the Crestwood School District. She is known to be a hard worker and very dedicated to helping children. Sarah had a second interview on Tuesday, August the 6th, 2019, and is being highly recommended for a special education paraprofessional position.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Berry.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Sarah Alshayer as a special education paraprofessional with Crestwood School District. See attachment 4A6.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Berry, supported by Mr. Garcia, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Sarah Alshayer as a special education paraprofessional with Crestwood School District. See attachment 4A6. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to know who she is.
I would too. Is she here?
I don't believe
She's
she's
not
here
here?
tonight.
I just, when I heard Egypt, wouldn't you love to see Egypt?
Wouldn't I?
Oh my goodness, I'd love to see Egypt. Well, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations.
Yes. Paraprofessional recommendation, Darlene Herm. Interviews for a special education paraprofessional were conducted on Tuesday, July the 30th, 2019. The interview committee consisted of Minna Mawad, Director of Special Services, Dennis Folletti, Riverside Middle School Principal, and me. The committee recommends Darlene Herm for this position. Darlene earned her bachelor's degree in music therapy from Western Michigan University in 2005. From 2006 to 2012, she worked at FAR Conservatory as a music therapist. She worked with people who had special needs. Darlene went on to work as a healthcare aide at Morse Elementary School in 2012, where she would assist students with autism spectrum disorder who also had social, emotional, and academic needs. In 2016, Darlene was hired as a paraprofessional with Garden City School District, where she works with special needs students. Darlene had a second interview on Tuesday, August the 6th, 2019, and is being highly recommended for a special education paraprofessional position.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Berry.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Darlene Herm as a special education paraprofessional with Crestwood School District. See attachment 4A7.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Mrs. Berry and supported by Mr. Garcia that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Darlene Herm as a special education paraprofessional with Crestwood School District. See attachment 4A7. Is there any discussion?
Is Darlene here?
Darlene is here.
Oh, stand up, please. Hi. Well, we better vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now we can clap one more time. Welcome.
Thank you. Administrative appointment, Nazreen Saad. Interviews for 2 secondary assistant principals were conducted on Wednesday, August the 7th, 2019. Interview committee members included Dennis Folletti, Riverside Middle School Assistant Principal, Christina Abajammer, Crestwood High School Assistant Principal, and me. The committee recommends Nazreen Saad for one of the positions. Nazreen has earned a few degrees, beginning with a bachelor's degree in education from the University of Michigan Dearborn in 2005. She went on to earn a master's degree in educational leadership in 2007 and her education specialist in English as a second language and curriculum instruction in 2011, both from Wayne State University. Nazreen began her educational career teaching 6th grade at Star International Academy in 2005. In 2006, she was hired by Dearborn Public Schools, where she had 5 years experience working in the classroom and 9 years experience as a resource teacher and English language development specialist. In 2017, she had an administrative internship for a year at Fortson High School. This is a long list. I should have a bottle of water. Some of her leadership and administrative experiences include professional development facilitator, acting principal, arrival, parent support, teacher support, discipline, lunch duties, and dismissal, vice chair of School Improvement Plan Committee at Gear Park Elementary School, chair of Assessment/Data and Parental Education Committee, chair of the Mentor Program and Core Values Anti-Bullying Committee, organize assessment plans, schedules, data analysis, and strategies to help support the student achievement gap. Here's a quote from Nazreen. My experiences have taught me that the principles of creating a successful school environment not only requires an educational balance that addresses the needs of individual students, as well as the staff communication, but also parental and community involvement. This is the guiding principle, which creates a productive and prolific school experience for every student when applied at the building level. Nazreen has had a second interview on Friday, August 9th, 2019, and is being highly recommended for an assistant principal position at Riverside Middle School.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Kaminsky.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Nazarene Saad to serve as Assistant Principal of Riverside Middle School for the 2019-2020 school year per Schedule 4A8.
Support.
It's been moved by Ms. Kaminsky and supported by Sawa. Was that Sawa?
Yes.
Okay. That the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Nasserine Saad to serve as an assistant principal at Riverside Middle School for the 2019-2020 school year per Schedule 4A8. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Berry.
I want to say I'm very, very pleased that you've included the parental and community experience.
I agree.
Involvement. That's very important, and you're going to carry a heavy weight because I'm counting on you for that, especially at that building. Okay?
And yes, Nasreen is here.
I was
She
going to
would
say,
stand.
may she stand?
And I believe that's her daughter? No. Sister.
Oh.
My gosh. I just didn't.
She's the youngest one.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
What a support system there, huh? Nice sis.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, I guess we should vote after clapping.
Yes.
Oh, I thought
All
we
those in
voted.
favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, welcome.
Thank you. Administrative appointment, Scott Schneider. Interviews for two secondary assistant principals were conducted on Wednesday, August the 7th, 2019. Interview committee members included Dennis Folletti, Riverside Middle School assistant principal, Christina Abajamra, Crestwood High School assistant principal, and me. The committee recommends Scott Schneider for one of the positions. Scott earned his Bachelor of Art in Elementary Education from Eastern Michigan University in 2008, and he went on to earn his Master of Arts in Educational Leadership from Central Michigan University in 2015. He holds endorsements in elementary education, integrated science K-8, and K-12 administration. Scott's teaching experience started as a sixth grade teacher at Plymouth Christian Academy in 2009. He then taught 6th through 8th grade at a Title I urban school in Detroit, teaching at-risk students until 2016, when he became an assistant principal and athletic director with the National Heritage Academies at Taylor Exemplar Academy. Deep breath.
Yeah.
Scott comes to us with the following experience: supervised, developed, coached, and evaluated a 15-teacher team. Led the team towards strategic team growth goals and individual growth goals through weekly observations. Conducted ongoing data analysis with the team to ensure student growth and proficiency. Increased overall staff engagement from 54% to 81% highly satisfied on the Glint Employee Engagement Survey. Managed school-wide safety program by planning, conducting, and reporting emergency drills, implementing a staggered dismissal process, creating arrival and dismissal post, and organizing needed safety-related resources. Led school-wide fundraising initiative to offset field trip costs, and led multiple family engagement nights with staff to foster deeper family and community relationships. Scott had a second interview on Friday, August 9th, 2019, and is being highly recommended for an assistant principal position at Riverside Middle School.
Madam President?
Yes, Miss.
I move that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Scott Schneider to serve as an assistant principal of Riverside Middle School for the 2019-2020 school year per Schedule 4A8.
Support.
That's Miss Berry. Okay. It's been moved by Ms. Sinia and supported by Mrs. Berry that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Scott Schneider to serve as an assistant principal of Riverside Middle School for the 2019-2020 school year per Schedule 4A8. Is there any discussion?
Madam President?
Yes, sir.
For the record, it should be 4A9.
Oh, it is. Did I say 8?
It's on one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is on one. I thought so. Okay, thank
But
you.
the correct is 4A9 for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Mrs. Kaminsky.
Just to kind of reiterate what Mrs. Berry said previously, I'm looking forward to the family engagement nights because we have a very interested community. So I think
Absolutely.
that's going to be nice.
And yes, Scott is here.
Scott, hi, Scott. Scott was described to us as the big, muscular guy. So we thought maybe that would be a good idea for Riverside. But, yes, so here again, we clapped before we voted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to the district.
Thank you.
And I have to say, I pulled him out on a phone interview on the second interview from the gym. So he literally had to walk out of the gym.
He was at the gym,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'd like to
good.
also thank Dennis Folletti, the principal at Riverside Middle School, for being here and being supportive of his new APs.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's going to be an exciting year, huh, Dennis?
Well, you get some new people.
Yes.
They have new ideas and stuff, you know, it makes, I think it's a much better working situation.
I agree.
And I look forward to
Yep, so do we.
Thank you.
We're just as excited if it's you or more, just to let you know. Thank you.
All righty. Next item on the agenda is the business report.
Good
Mr.
evening, everyone. I have two action items for the board this evening. The first one is the non-homestead millage resolution. At the direction of the Board of Education, I've attached a resolution to be adopted calling for a special election to be held on Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. The purpose of this election is to seek voter approval for 3 mills assessed against all property except principal residence and other property exempted by law in the Crestwood School District for a period of 16 years. If approved, only a portion of the 3 mills will be levied in any given year to the extent needed to continue levying our statutory limit of 18 mills. In 2014, voters approved a millage renewal of 18.9038, which has been permanently reduced by the Headley rollback to 17.8098. The State School Aid Act assumes that each district will levy the statutory limit of 18 mills to generate their portion of foundation allowance. If a district does not levy the full 18 mills, this lost revenue is not made up for by the state. In our case, the .1906 mill reduction reduces our annual revenue by approximately $40,000. Each year thereafter, in addition to the $40,000 loss, the 17.8094 mills will be further subjected to potential Headley reductions. Crestwood receives about $900 per student, or $3.8 million annually, from the full 18 mill non-homestead millage. This accounts for approximately 8% of the district's operating revenue.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Garcia.
I'm going to recommend that Crestwood Board of Education approves the attached resolution calling for a special election to be held on Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. The proposition to be voted on at the special election will allow the school district to levy the statutory rate of not to exceed 18 mills on all property except principal residence and other property exempted by law, as required for the school district to receive its full revenue per pupil foundation allowance. See attachment 5A1.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Garcia and supported by Mrs. Berry that the Crestwood School District Board of Education, no, did that wrong, sorry, I'm at the wrong spot. Here we go. That the Crestwood School District Board of Education approves the attached resolution calling for a special election to be held on Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. The proposition to be voted on at the special election will allow the school district to levy the statutory rate of not to exceed 18 mills on all property except principal residences and other property exempted by law, as required for the school district to receive its full revenue per pupil foundation allowance. See attachment 5A1. I would just like to say, before I open it up to the rest of the board, how disappointed I was that it didn't pass, but I also would like to apologize to our school community because I truly believe we were going through a lot of transitional things at the time. We lost our superintendent. We had contract negotiations. It's not an excuse, but it didn't get the attention that it needed. People needed to know that this wasn't a hike in their taxes, that everything was going to remain the same, and I don't think the news got out there because the absentee voter showed us that they didn't realize that that was the case. So we want to bring it back before the voters. We want to form committees of community members, not board members, community members to go out and to sell this to our community, because it is something we really need as a school district for our students. And it's not going to cost anybody anything, except if you have a rental property or a small business. Is that?
That's correct.
And
Okay.
it's not even gonna cost them anymore, it's just gonna bring them back up to the same
To the
level.
same
as
level.
that, but- So it's not an increase for them, except based on their property value.
Right. So, I don't know how many people watch our school board meetings, but evidently not enough, because we said it at school board meetings, but, that's a very small group of people. So we're going to fan out in the community and get volunteers to go and tell people about this, and so they know and they can be assured that it's not going to raise their taxes. Now I can open up the Sue.
So really well said.
Discussion, I'm sorry.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate that, and I was going to say a lot of that, but just piggybacking a little bit, I have, since the election, reached out to all of the city council people and got replies from all of them but one, and our state senator and our previous state senator, who all are willing to help out as well. And so I just wanted to reiterate that if you own a house, it's no extra dollars.
Right.
So just try and remember that. And if you vote no on this, you're not going to get a decrease in your taxes either. So it's kind of, a win situation to vote yes, because it's going to cost you or save you nothing, and it's going to help out the kids.
It's going to help the kids. Our most important issue, the children.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I want to reiterate what you said. It is very important. This ties to your values in your neighborhoods, better schools, better communities. So it is in our best interest to do what is best for students and for our district. So please help us in passing this.
Madam President? I just think that also when that group is organized, it's the providing the information to educate the voters so that they can make an educated decision when they are in the polls.
Agreed.
Madam President, do you want to give a contact for any community members or people that want to be involved to help promote this? Or should they call you or should they call?
Central office?
Yeah.
Central
Board
office. And it's,
And we'll provide whatever information that you need to share and get the word out.
yes, I know.
Sorry.
I knew that. I've been here 22 years, sir. The phone number to the board office is 313-278-0903. Called it many times. Call there and they will direct you if you'd like to help out spreading the word that we really need this to pass in November. Thank you. And the next item would be the curriculum. Oh, we didn't vote?
No, we did not.
Why did I say we did? I guess I just hoped that everybody went. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you. The next action item is the technology replacement purchases, and this is out of the 2016 bond issue. And this is being presented on behalf of Technology Director Joanne Walega. The Hillcrest, Highview, and Kinlock Computer Lab computers are approximately 6 years old and are in need of replacement. These desktop computers were purchased new in May of 2013. Many of these computers are having power supply and audio jack problems. 120 Dell Latitude highly durable notebooks, along with 3 laptop carts, are being recommended for purchase, totaling $95,205. Crestwood High School's Media Center computers are approximately 7 years old and are also in need of replacement. We purchased these 3-year-old computers off lease in September of 2012. 120 Dell Latitude highly durable notebooks along with 3 laptop carts are also being recommended for purchase, totaling $84,285. If any of these computers are still usable, we will reallocate them on an as-needed basis throughout the district. All of the computers are being purchased from Presidio using the 2019 REMC device purchasing program. Thus, they meet the state's competitive bid requirements. The purchase of these computers will be paid for by 2016 bond proceeds.
Madam President?
Yes, Ms. Sinia.
I move that the Crestwood School District Board of Education approves the purchase of 240 Dell Latitude highly durable notebooks and 6 mobile laptop carts from Presidio for $179,490. All purchases will be made through the 2019 REMC Device Purchasing Program at Wayne Resa. See attachment 5A2.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Sinian and supported by Mrs. Kaminsky that the Crestwood School District Board of Education approve the purchase of 240 Dell Latitude highly durable notebooks and 6 mobile laptop carts from Presidio for the price of $179,490. All purchases will be made through the 2019 REMC Device Purchasing Program at Wayne Resa. See attachment 5A2. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
have we made any purchases with the bond money towards technology, or is this for actual hard
No, we have.
computers? Or
We've purchased upwards of $2 million worth of technology purchases. That's not just movable equipment. That's like for the fiber optic lines that we put in throughout the district.
Okay.
Other infrastructure improvements, a lot of the smart boards going into all the classrooms are part of that. So this is just an additional monies being spent for replacement computers.
So we can do that?
Oh,
as
yes.
part- Okay.
Yeah.
Do all the classrooms now have smart boards?
This summer, I believe every single classroom will have one installed by the end of the summer. Joanne, are you here? Yeah. Is that accurate? Yeah. Okay. So each classroom should be equipped identically throughout the district.
All right, any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries. We move on now to curriculum, which is...
And before that, I want to thank Joanne Willega and Kathy Susenka for doing all the legwork
Absolutely.
and finding the
Thank you.
best deal that we can
Thank
for technology.
I agree, thank you.
Curriculum, there's no report tonight, but I've been very busy, so next time I'll bring something to you.
In special ed, Menham's on vacation this week, so we will get a report when he gets back. And the last is superintendent's report. Richard.
Back to me. I have 2 informational items. Fall enrollment. Parents and guardians are encouraged to enroll their children for the fall semester as soon as possible. Enrollments are taken at the Board of Education office, which is located at 27235 Joy Road. Please go to our school website at www.csdm.k12.mi.us or call our office for more information. Please enroll now to avoid the lines in the fall. And yes, the office was very busy today, and it will become busier and busier the closer we get to the school year. So get in as soon as you can. And fall 2019, school for all students will begin on Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2019. This is where children groan and parents yell, I think. This will be a full day of school for high school students and a half day for middle school and elementary students. The CHS varsity football team will have its first game on Thursday, August the 29th, against Detroit Central High School. This is an away game, so show up and cheer on your Chargers.
Yay, Chargers. Okay. I guess at this time in the agenda, we welcome comments from the audience. Is there anyone that would like to speak to us tonight? Anyone? Oh, yes. Please come forward. Go to the podium and tell us your name.
My name is Christine Kanji. I am the sister of Mohammed Kanji. A little introduction about Mohammed. Mohammed is a now 4th grade student, now accepted into Kinloch. He spent the first 3 years at Highview. He is an ADHD, ODD student. I'm actually very upset with the special education department and just anything that has to do with special education for this student. So my little brother, I feel that he has been left behind in, I feel like he's been, sorry.
It's okay, honey.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very well aware of what took place with Miss Kenji's brother, and I have asked her to follow the chain I feel for her. I understand her pain. She has not had the support that she needed. I will come out and say that because she has followed up with me, and I'm very disturbed by what has taken place because in all honesty, this is not the first time I've heard of such incidents. I understand your pain, and that's why I'm glad that you came tonight. I know it took you a long time to come here, and we're going to make sure that this is handled, okay? No student that needs education and the extra help because of their disabilities needs to go unnoticed, okay? And I will give you my word on that, and I will give you the board's word on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming. I know it took a lot out of you, but enough is enough.
Please contact the board office. I'll be more than happy to follow
Okay.
up and try to.
Well, what has taken place is he hasn't received the services that he needs. The mom works full-time, the dad works full-time. He comes into school in the morning, he spends 10, 20, 15, 30 minutes, and then the parent is called. The parent's losing their job. Both parents, I think, are at risk of losing their jobs because they cannot stay at work. They're constantly having to leave work because the child is not being taken care of and the needs are not there while the child is in school. Right away, our solution is let's call home and get him out of here. And this stuff needs to stop.
So he's a third grade student.
Yes.
Throughout his third grade year, it started off fine. We haven't had any issues. First of all, I need to address that. He has had ADHD since he was a kid, and it has been noticed. His IEP started in April of this year. And the only reason why the IEP started this year was because I had contacted friends who work with special needs in the Dearborn district, and they informed me what an IEP was. Our family didn't know what an IEP was, and we never had those services offered to us. My brother hasn't had those services offered to him, and now he's going into the 4th grade, and we just started the IEP. As soon as the IEP started, we started to get more phone calls home. His IEP now is that he is only in school for an hour and a half, from 9 o'clock to 10:30. And that is because he had been bullied, he feels threatened and bullied by his teachers and the resource room. He spends his hour and a half in a single room with the emotional impairment teacher. Mind you that, as I learned, that we only have one emotional impairment teacher for the whole district who Mohammed does not get along with. For someone who is an emotional impairment teacher, I feel that she should have a better way of communicating with the student, which it doesn't go that way. It's more so disciplinary action. For the most part, my brother comes to school and spends his whole time in timeout. And if he doesn't complete out, and the timeout is extended in minutes, 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour. And if he doesn't complete his timeout or he disrupts the timeout, more time gets added to his timeout, and he comes back the next day to complete whatever the remainder of the time is, whether it be an hour, 2 hours. So he learned that school is now a place of discipline and punishment. And so what happened when, as soon as we started the IEP and he started to have one-on-one communication, one-on-one room with the teacher, he learned that if he acts up or he starts throwing a fit, that his parents will be called and he'll go home. So he had learned that behavior, and so hasn't spent more than an hour to 2 hours at school ever since April. So there was times where we stopped sending him to school because he would not leave his room to go to school. It was a fight every day to send him to school because he looks at school as a threatened place, as a place of punishment. And I have came to board meetings. I wish Mr. Awad was here today because he has been in the meetings with us. We determined after maybe the last week of school that he had a manifestation review, and it was part of his disability. So how I feel is as soon as the IEP started, it was more of a comeback to my little brother that it was more of how do we get this kid to not be so disruptive in our school, and if it's going to be to send him home, create shorter days. Now, Mr. Awad wants to send us to a behavioral school called Stuckey in Redford, and he pretty much said that that's our only option. And we have verbalized multiple times to send him to different schools to change the teacher. We communicated about that. He did not get along with his teacher, and pretty much blocked all the roads and said, this is your only option, Mrs. An individualized room is your only option. My brother sometimes goes into tantrums, runs around the school. Sometimes he had to be restrained. Shoes get come off because he becomes a danger to everyone around him, and now he blacks out. So he has kicked chairs, thrown tables. But he developed this behavior closer to January and so on. So he's regressed much, like horribly. Currently, right now, he's completing an outpatient. It's considered a hospitalization in mental health. He's on day 4 of his mental health. He goes to a mental health program from 9 to 3 to teach him how to control his emotions and behavior, because he just doesn't trust anyone anymore, and he thinks that adults are out to get him, and he became paranoid. And now we are trying to find different psychologists and social workers and psychiatrists and therapy to get him to re-like school. We just got approved for Kinlock, but the problem is Kinlock going to be supportive to his special needs? And considering that he's now considered emotionally impaired, the only teacher in the district is Mrs. He doesn't have a good rapport with. How do we help him? How do we get him support that he needs for 4th grade? After 4th grade, he's going to go to Riverview, Riverside. Riverview?
Yeah.
He's going to be with older kids. Then what? He doesn't have any school friends. He's looked at as the bad kid in his school because he's been bullied so much by the adults, and he's been pointed out that his behavior is bad. Until now that I finally got him an IEP, and we now start to look at, hey, maybe this kid has a disability and it's not just his behavior. But this is April, and he's going to 4th grade, and it's been missed for the past 3 years.
Wow.
Can I ask, does he have a one-on-one parapro?
I
Is
don't
it?
think. Well,
No?
it's one-on-one in classroom with Mrs.
Just him and the teacher?
Just him and the teacher in a
But
locked
there's
room.
No, in a locked room?
It's a locked room.
Okay, and there's no additional help when he leaves the classroom or anything?
No.
I guess.
So obviously, this is a complicated case. I need to get more details. I'll contact, you're the sister. Is mom and dad involved?
Mom and dad are involved. It's just that I feel like I'm more the spoken one.
Okay.
And I'm a nurse also. I work at
So
Children's
I'll
Hospital.
follow up with you, call the board office, leave your contact information, we'll set up an appointment, and we'll do what we can.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you for being brave enough to come. Okay. With that, any more comments from the audience? Okay, board members, is there a board? Yes, Ms. Kaminsky.
I just wanted to let everyone know that we are in the middle of a search for superintendent, and there have been meetings for both our teachers and staff as well as the community. There will be more meetings. It was very nice to see so much community and teacher involvement, especially during the summer when our employees are not working, and I hope to continue to see the involvement of our community.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mrs. Berry.
I wanted to ask Mr. Folletti, did you ever hear from Garden City Hospital? I forwarded that email to you about Art for Healing. To you, Art for Healing?
Art for Healing.
Yeah, no,
You never got the email from me?
no.
Okay, Mr. Fabris did respond, and I wanted to thank Garden City Hospital for reaching out. They want to start taking some of our students' artwork, framing it, doing what they have to do, putting it up in the building, in the rooms at the hospital. And I'm really
Nice.
thrilled
Yes,
to
isn't
see
that
that
awesome?
community
That's so
outreach,
cool.
and I'm hoping that we see more of that.
That's so cool.
Another thing is I wanted to ask Ms. Walega, why is it taking so long to upload the board meetings onto the website?
That's an issue with Google. Google took away branding account, which is the kind of account that was, and I just haven't had the time to go back and recreate everything and re-upload everything to a new account.
Because that's been a problem. I'm getting a lot of calls on that.
Okay.
They're asking, are we hiding
I'll look it up
something?
on
And
the
why aren't we
list.
transparent?
Yeah,
So I'd like to see, can't you put them on
It's on.
YouTube?
And you, that's
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
If Google had an issue, it took away.
so we can only use Google to do that? Is that what you're saying?
YouTube is Google.
That's the only way you can do that, is what I'm asking.
It's on.
There's no other way to upload them to our district website. Am I
No.
tech savvy?
No.
No, I'm not. But I
I'm
mean,
not.
I just want to know.
No, our website doesn't allow us to upload videos like that.
Okay. All right, and the other thing is I wanted to thank Mr. Sharara for reaching out. He was unsure of what was taking place at Kinlock. He's been, I want to say, I commend him. He's been paying attention to what is happening around the school. He's our eyes and ears, and he wanted to make sure that everything was being properly with the asphalt, cement, all that stuff in the parking lot over at Kinlock and all other parking lots. So I wanted to thank him for paying attention, for being our eyes and ears, and if you guys as a community see anything that maybe we missed, we would appreciate if you would let us know. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, as far as Kinlock, I got the call too from Dave Abdullah. We did take pictures, and in talking with Brian, they are going to add another layer over there this week because it is not done and will be restriped. So in case anybody else goes through there this week, it's not completed, and they will be fixing that.
And also the cracked cement's going to be taken care of too.
Right.
The projects are complete, but in that particular case, we temporarily striped it for the election. So we knew that going in, and we knew that we'd be putting another final coat of asphalt on it, and striping will happen again.
Okay.
Madam President?
I would just like to say, let me quickly say, I'm in this seat tonight because Mrs. Ansonick is ill. Send out prayers for her healing. She's had a rough year, and she's on the mend, but she just couldn't make it tonight, so wishing Mrs. Ansonick well.
Madam President, just for those that may be watching, we hope they are, students at Riverside Middle School, 7th and 8th graders, football started today at 3 o'clock. Remember to, that will go for the next, that'll go until school starts. So from 3 to 5 at Riverside Middle School, you have to have your $50 pay-to-play fee, a physical, which is dated after April 15th of this year, and a participation form. And myself and the other coaches welcome you, so hope to see the numbers out there.
Madam President? Yes. I just have one quick question for Dr. Klee. A couple months ago, I had asked about, at a study session, about uploading the backup documents for our meeting to our website, and then I know a community member asked about it at our last meeting. I was wondering if you had an update for us.
That's all I can say. It's in process.
Okay.
Who's working on that?
Joanne. Yeah.
Okay, because Kristen had mentioned something that it could be directly uploaded from Board Book.
Yeah. We're still working on it. It's a board book, which is our platform for our board minutes. It's a technical issue, so we're working on it.
And just to let everybody know, we're working really hard to get everything in place before school starts. As you can see with assistant principal hires, and we've had meetings all summer long, the board, and we will continue having meetings to search for a new superintendent. And I think that we're working well together. I think it's become a group of one looking for the best for children, and I'm so happy to be a part of this board right now. I'm very proud of us, so thank you all. With that said, okay.
Also, for the community, just in all the hires you guys saw today and how we've been hiring throughout the summer, I think you'll start to notice more changes in the district for the better, and hopefully all the people coming on will add to that change and make the improvements that we all have been looking for.
Thank you, Saul. Couldn't be said better. Pardon me?
7:59.
I put 8, but 7:59 is the right time. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you for coming. Good night.
Thank you.